Oh, hello, everyone. Welcome to an early stream. It's very exciting to be doing this early because it means I get to be awake more or less this time. I'm just kidding. I'm always awake for these sort of things. But I figured, you know what? It's been a while since we did a stream for the people across the pond to be able to watch live. And let's go ahead and make that happen. Now, because we are catering to our European and almost, or former European brethren and sisterin, I feel like that doesn't make sense. So don't worry about it. Feel free to chime in, and we can. I mean, you know how easily I'm distracted, and we'll just go nuts. So I'm trying to find my foot switches here. I got too many now. There we go. I found them. I got it. It's good. It's fine. First 10 minutes, for those of you who are new to this sort of thing, first 10 minutes are going to be for people to trickle in and me to just spout out nonsense like I usually do, which is, you know, not very different from the rest of the stream. It's just this nonsense is much less in a direction towards something. But I do want to go over what people... Are you... Is it... Yeah, okay. It's because directions. Hi, Dan. How's it going? Also, folks, I don't think that's the real delete laws. I don't know if we figured that out yet. But... I put out a post being like, hey, what do you guys want to see? What do you want from this stream? And there was some stuff about Chili's lawsuit. And I think Paul is here. I did want to go over that with Paul, because, you know, I know a thing or two about, you know, meeting elements of crimes and reasonable suspicion and probable cause, but he knows things about the lawsuit, so I'd love to have him back at some point. Putting him on the spot. Sorry about that. He kind of already partially agreed, so I don't feel too bad about it. We also, I think there were some soft plans to go over maybe Chili's CPS stuff. I still haven't watched it. Gotten a bit behind. There's so much that he's producing that's just absolute, just nonsense. Keeping up, I got to be very picky and choosy with what I'm watching. I also get overwhelmed. There's a whole thing. There's too much. But that might happen. I would love to do that. I do want to talk about Chili a little bit with his drug use on his own stream. And there's a very good chance I'll make an entire video out of that. Like a short video, but something a lot more condensed and put together. Because I hear rumors, whether or not they're true, that there's some people in Ironton that watch my stuff. And I am very happy to sort of organize information to help them out because there's a lot of information to go through. And as a former investigator, I know that it helps to have this stuff put together for you that can be easily checked. So, sorry, some of you in the chat. Anyway, so yeah, okay, just finding my foot pedal again. Don't mind me. It doesn't matter. Let's see. So there's that. So I want to briefly touch on that, and then probably in the future I'll make an actual sort of condensed bit of information that's a little better. Nikojin had asked, will you be giving us the new work mailing address in the footer of Friday's stream? Check that description, baby. We got a new P.O. box that hopefully works this time. So if you're like, I want to send mail, yes, by all means. Feel free to do it. I got guys, you know, because I'm terrible with my emails. So might be a better way to communicate with me, honestly. My emails. Oh my God. Like, thank you everyone for sending the emails. Don't get me wrong. Some of you very helpful, but there's a lot. This is not my full-time job. This is a hobby. So sometimes it's just like, I don't have time. Rebecca, thank you for joining the Bacon Bits as well. Thank you so much. Dan, I don't know if I know I reacted to you. I don't know if I thanked you. Sorry if I did. I don't know. It doesn't matter. Thank you. Hi. How's it going? Kivy. Oh, Kivy. We haven't seen you in a while, have we? Welcome back. Thank you. Thank you for joining. Rennie's saying, we have the mail. It's like Arby's, but not as delicious. Is Arby's delicious? Arby's is okay. Arby's is all right. Lady Dragon's Blood is here, and Lady Dragon's Blood had some questions about some self-defense stuff, which I definitely want to cover, and that's probably going to be the first thing I do before I forget. Let me see what else. Cowboys wanted the How Long Until Wrong. Oh, I do need to do more of those. Those are fun. Those are so easy. They're so fun. Yes, we can factor that into some stuff as well. Drew Cantor, I was talking to last night on a stream I was in at Uncle Artie's stream, not Artie's Corporate Fiction, Uncle Artie. different. It doesn't matter. And he had some interesting things that we were talking about, and maybe one of them will come up. Let's see. How about the stalking and harassment or restraining orders against him in Alaska? Oh, yeah, we can go over that as well. Someone says, why bananas are disgusting and shouldn't exist. I feel like that's more opinion than it is facts. But anyway, being in the fold that says, can we finally talk about why Twin Peaks is the best TV show that is based on Washington State? Stop hiding from this. What other TV shows are based in Washington State? We're going to look that up right now. And then we're going to do self-defense stuff. We're going to talk about that. Very, very briefly, I'm sure. I don't know if you guys want to get into like self-defense stuff. I'm no expert. I know a thing or two. I'm not like running a gym somewhere pretending that you can disarm people easily. Some of you know what I'm talking about. All right. TV shows set in Washington. I think you triggered that, Palma. Thank you, Palma, by the way. That wasn't supposed to trigger that. What is happening? That's fine. That actually spooked me a little bit. Son of a gun. Thank you, Fake Delete Law. It says, trifolds and cocaine make me indestructible. All right. Let's see. You know what? I'm going to lower that. It's still not going to be low. I'm going to lower. Chatbot. There are things I didn't even know existed there. All right. That should be fixed. That shouldn't trigger unless it's 30. Judy, thank you, says, check out Bob in an answer on your com page about DL's drug use, says he has proof. Oh, yeah, perfect. I will check that out. Dark Angel was set in Seattle. What is Dark Angel? What are you guys talking about? I'll check that out. Hold on. Aaron's, thank you so much. Says, relevant fun fact, all bananas are slightly radioactive to their potassium content. That is true. You can overdose on bananas, by the way. I don't know if it's because of the just too much banana or if it's just like the radiation based. I got nothing. All right. Oh, Twin Peaks. Okay. Grey's Anatomy. Oh, I don't watch Grey's Anatomy. I guess that was set there. iCarly was in Washington. That I didn't know. Hold on, guys. Frasier? Does Twin Peaks beat Frasier? Can I set a poll? Is that a possibility? Can I do that? Do I have a poll thing? All right. Hold on, ladies and gentlemen. Let me see. Let me see if I can do some... I don't know if I can change the names of them. Don't know. All right, well, I'll figure out the poll thing later. What do we think, folks? Twin Peaks or Frasier? You let me know. But while you're putting that in the chat, I want to go over some self-defense stuff because it was asked of me, how would you defend yourself when you're in a wheelchair? Now, that gets tricky. And there are a lot of things that we want to address. Kivy, thank you so much, by the way. This is bananas and Sprite make for a bad mix equals puke. Why would you even do that in the first place? I'm confused. I don't know. Anyway, so, before I get into that, it's early. And I wouldn't do this if it wasn't the stream. But I have apple juice. $20 flips a coin. I will show you. Computer.
Yes, Sergeant.
Flip a coin.
Coin is tails. You're safe.
I don't have to consume one. If it was heads, I would. There are 3 of them. And some of you might be like, well, it's apple juice this early in the morning. Well, you generally drink apple juice for breakfast. Am I wrong? It's just apple juice. That's all it is. I don't know why you guys are confused by that. But if you don't want me to consume apple juice this early, please do not donate. If you want me even more unhinged than I am now, you have options. It only gets you a flip. It won't guarantee the consumption of any of these. All right, hold on. We got some something from Scotland. It's blended. I don't even want to try to pronounce it. We got some peanut butter apple juice. And I don't even know what this is. I'll be honest with you. It's a type of apple juice infused with a different type of apple juice. Distilled and bottled in France. Beaumont XO apple juice? I don't know. It scares me. But I digress. So, wheelchair. Self-defense in a wheelchair. There are going to be some things that you... Why is that one? That light is blue for some... J-Car, you jerk! Thank you, though. J-Car says, apple juice for breakfast.
Apple juice for breakfast? Oh, why not? It's 5 o'clock somewhere.
Never mind. Took care of it for me. I forget that does that. I put it together. You'd think I'd remember. Flip a coin.
Coin is heads. Drink.
I'm going to start with the peanut butter. Ah!
Everyone loves a good glass of apple juice.
Flip a coin. I'm deciding.
Coin is heads.
Ah!
Drink.
No! It's too early for this. This one's not bad. I don't know if... I mean, if I had like a White Russian, this would be a very fun addition to it. I think. It's weird. All right, bottoms up. Thanks, everyone, for promoting this nonsense. How dare you, J-Car? J-Car, how dare you? All right. Yeah, that's a sipping apple juice right there. Ah. I'll just do a stream where I'm just making drinks. Might be fun. I'll just dress like a bartender. I'll be cleaning in class. You'll tell me your troubles. I'll give you life advice. And you buy me drinks. I can get on board with that. I think we could. All right. Oh, no, it's way too early for this. My stomach's like, excuse me? You already don't often. But this is not the evening. I haven't eaten yet today. So, Jelly Baby. I only know of Jelly Babies because of Doctor Who. I don't, no, Judy, no. Okay. That's good. All right. That brings me back to normal. It's the peanut butter's fun. I think it's going to be an acquired taste for some of you if you try it. But it's very interesting.
Are you out of your mind drinking peanut butter apple juice?
I am. Yes, I am. Computer.
Yes, Sergeant.
Flip a coin. Please don't.
Coin is heads. Drink.
This one scares me. Okay. Oh, a Black Russian. There you go. That might work. You guys are terrible. I really don't. It's actually 11:14 in the morning here. So yes. But it's apple juice. You drink apple juice in the morning. It's a breakfast thing, right? I'm stalling for time. It's not a good chaser for peanut butter. I'll tell you that. All right, we got 3 for 3. That's right. as John Thomas has pointed out. So if we ever get, because there was that first stream I did this where it was just tails, 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 tails. We can't feel bad about that anymore. J-Car, I just started. I don't. Hank's Corner, thank you. I should do a collaboration with the Angry Barista. Angry Barista. I'm going to type that out because that sounds like a good time. Angry Barista. I'll tell you, I'll let you guys know. Hold on. I always felt like I'd be a good bartender. I feel like, not that I'd be like good at it, but that I would enjoy it. Just doing things, talking to people. That's right. Make a funnel out of a trifold, using it as an apple juice bong. Yes. Okay. Generally, I down the whole thing. This is large. This is a large bottle of blended. This is gonna hurt. This is gonna hurt. All right. Like, I feel like I should just quit my job now. No, I'm not gonna do that. Maybe when I'm older and I'm like retired. No, I don't know. I just feel like it would be fun. I'd like to do it for like a day at least. But I don't need to be good. Just don't need to know what Google is. Fair enough. All right. Oh, I don't want to do it. Which one of you donated for this? It was you, Judy. Judy, I'm not happy about this. Thank you, but I'm not happy about it. I don't want to do it. Okay, I'm going to do it. Nope, I'm not. Yep. Okay. Just gotta squish the nose a little bit. All right, here we go. Some weird apple juice. It doesn't even taste like apples. Oh, I love Bar Rescue, John. Oh, I love Bar Rescue. I'm all set. We're good. How's everyone else? We're gonna handle my apple juice, no problem. I'm gonna throw these. They're glass. Whew. It's weird. I don't know that. This was a gift, by the way. I did not buy this, so I don't know what it cost. I don't know if it's worth it though. It looks fancy. Just sinuses are like, what do we do? All right, wheelchairs. So with self-defense, there are a lot of things you want to take into account. Your physical capabilities and the physical capabilities of your potential attacker. And so generally when I talk about self-defense, there's going to be an element of, following through or running away, et cetera, because self-defense shouldn't necessarily be about, I am an alpha. Looking at you, Chili. I'm an alpha. I'm going to win this fight. Self-defense is about surviving the fight. Okay. That's the mentality you should have. So you need to know when to run, when to fight, when to act, when to do this, when to do that. There's a lot of stuff. So there are these channels out there like, here's this move that you will do the thing. And then it's like one part out of 20 that you really need to account for. Self-defense is, it's a big thing. It's a big thing. If you want to get good at self-defense, you need to know a lot of general stuff so that you can make the right decision at the right time. The problem is a wheelchair takes away a lot of that stuff. Your ability to run, your ability to follow through, your ability to hold the person down until help comes, that sort of thing. So, hand to hand, just, duking it out might not be effective Because what I'd want to say is, first of all, if you're in a wheelchair and someone's like mugging you, right? Someone's getting a little crazy. My recommendation is act real frail. You're in a wheelchair, it's not going to be hard to sell it. Act real frail. Just, please, no. Oh, you want my wallet? Oh, I can't reach my hands, right? Because, like, your legs don't work. Well, ish. So it's not hard to sell that your arms might also be very frail. Use it to get close to them. And then punch them in the nuts. You're at the right height. Just boom. Or if it's a girl, just same thing. I'm sure it would also hurt. The problem is there's no follow through. So once they're done being hurt, what do you do? Right? Now, if you're in America, maybe you draw a gun while they're down in that few seconds you might have. Because some people recover from a punch to the old junk quickly. I will tell you, a punch to my junk will take me down, and then it will make me very, very angry. And I know this from experience. I will initially drop if you hit me hard enough, and then I will propel myself at you. That's my thing. So if you're in America, Kivy, no! Kivy, I don't have any more. All right. I do have this, though. Computer.
Yes, Sergeant.
Flip a coin.
Keep the apple juice flowing.
Also, thank you.
Coin is tails.
Ha!
You're safe.
All right, for the record, though, I would have poured myself a little bit just for that. I do not have any more drinks there. That's 3 is basically my limit until we implement fully the Wheel of Inconvenience, which has the option or the potential reward, not for me, because it's inconvenience, of putting a 4th thing there. We do not have that up yet. We're getting there. We're getting to that. A kick to the junk would probably work better. Jassa asks if a kick to the junk would work better. The problem is, if you're in a wheelchair, I'm going to assume that maybe your legs don't work so hot. Also, it can be a little harder to actually, unless you're used to it, land a kick where you want. We're used to using our hands for those minor sort of precision movements. Feet, not necessarily the same unless you play a lot of soccer, football. And this is a stream for, your European, so you might be good at that. I would not recommend it to my American brethren unless they were confident. And I'm saying, get close so you can really unload the full thing. Just an explosive sort of energy into that junk. And you're going to drop them. And you have a couple seconds to then make your next move. If you're in America, you might be able to pull a gun, right? You could get a tiny little gun that's in a purse. You don't need a big gun. Just something small, concealable, easy to get. You're not worried about range because you're already really close to them. And you say, gunpoint. And if they come at you again, shoot them. Well, don't do that. This is not legal advice. I'm saying it gives you the options, okay? Has to be self-defense. Has to be self-defense. Each state might have different things on that. If you're in America, if you're not in America, you might not have access to a gun. You might have a taser. The problem with a taser is that, does it shoot prongs? Or is it just a stun gun? I think in, for example, England or Scotland, Ireland, that sort of thing, which I think the person asking this question is from. That's from general area, the UK, and surrounding stuff. I think it's hard to get your hands on that, maybe. Now, a stun gun is great if you're very mobile, because it will inflict a lot of pain. It won't lock somebody up. That's a taser. That's the prongs. If you miss the prongs, you might have a second shot. You might not. Depends on the taser you're using and the cartridges you're using, and that can be tricky. It might be difficult to get that. It's a whole thing. I don't know that a taser would work. Baton, collapsible baton, you whipped it out. I mean, yeah, you can smack them away. That might be effective. If you have a cane, smack them away with a cane. The problem is your range of movement. If they manage to get behind you and grab the handlebars of your wheelchair, you're just gonna boom. You can hit them, but you're not gonna do much damage, and then they can just put you in a some sort of arm around the neck. There are terms for that. Doesn't matter. So I think taking the fight to them might not be your best idea. Being able to get distance, that's going to work. The nut punch or the cooter punch, I guess, I don't know. It's going to work once, and then you'll roll yourself backwards or forwards. and try to get help. My recommendation, really, the first thing I would recommend is some sort of whistle or alarm, right? There are these devices you can get. Make sure your batteries are functional. You press it, it's like 112 decibels. It's very, very loud, a little like woo, 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 siren. It'll get people's attention. That's what you want. A lot of crimes are crimes of opportunity. So if you're in a place where people are like, I've got this person, haha, no one's coming to help them, and you can attract attention to yourself, great. If you're in farm country, there's nobody around, good luck. I got nothing for you. You're probably not going to get away with it unless you have a gun. And it might be hard to get a gun. So the wheelchair thing really is a dilemma because it comes down to what is your physical capability? Where are you? What can you get? OC spray? OC spray is a thing. You can blind them if you know how to use it. Use a thumb, spray it into their eyes. Nut punch, spray. While they're blind and don't know where you are, roll away. Hit your siren, get attention. Only hit the siren if there are people around, because if you hit the siren and there's nobody around, you're just alerting the person who's now blind and angry to where you are, and they can use their hearing to find you. So it's a whole thing, but a lot of the things I would recommend for self-defense aren't going to be effective. It's going to be location dependent. If you're in a city, my recommendation, siren, OC spray. Act real frail. I'm getting my wallet. I'm getting my wallet. Hold on. Wheel, wheel, wheel. Bah! Psh! Siren, wheel away. Because you're probably not going to win the fight. But you can stop the fight, if that makes sense. You can get away from the fight. And sometimes, and many times, I'll be honest with you, many times that's better. Your goal isn't to win. Your goal is to survive. That would be my recommendation. If you can't get OC spray, you're screwed. I'm just kidding. Okay, what if you can't get OC spray? Brass knuckles. I'm kidding. That's a joke. Not brass knuckles. Yes, poke an eye. So one of the things that a lot of these self-defense channels don't teach you is, yeah, sure, you have all these really cool moves that look really cool on camera, but what's the likelihood of you actually getting yourself into that situation? Pretty slim. The better education is, here are pressure points, here's how to manipulate them, here's where to poke, here's where to prod, here's where to twist, here's where to grab. Based on your situation, make a decision. Once you made a decision, here's the finer points of that. That's really what you want. I've been tempted, I'll be honest, I've been tempted to put some videos together of some very basic self-defense stuff. Not like, here's how to disarm somebody, but here's how to make a decision. Because that's such a huge part of it. How to make a decision. How to start the process. Because once it begins, it doesn't end immediately, right? Like the guy in Detroit Urban Survival Tactics, whatever his name is. He'll teach you these moves that some of them actually work, but then he doesn't teach the follow through, right? If you try to grab someone's gun, you know what they're going to do? Once they lose control of that gun, they're going to grab you. They're going to go in and you're going to start wrestling on the ground. They're going to start punching you in the face. They're going to get that gun back or die trying. He doesn't teach that though. That's incredibly important. If you're teaching the move without teaching the follow through, you're getting people killed, or you're setting people up for getting killed. It's that simple. Let me see. Was this important? Was someone messaging me? I think I got a text. It might have been Rennie. Because okay, I don't think it was. I don't know what that was. Doesn't matter. So that's, I know that wasn't a really great analysis of the wheelchair thing, but it's, a service dog is a fun option. Because they might be able to, defend you if they're that kind of dog. It really depends. Aaron Reed says, bite, gouge, eyes, pull hair, do whatever you have to do to survive and dissuade. This isn't Enter the Dragon. Yes. So people are like, oh yeah, flying spin kicks are going to save me. No. Making yourself difficult is going to, it might get you also killed. But yeah, so eyes, very sensitive. Temples, great for strikes. very sensitive. Jaw, not here. Well, I mean, anywhere in the jaw, really, but you get here, you can knock someone out with a punch to here. You can really do some damage with a punch to here. Ears, if you got you slap the ears, you can burst an eardrum. Punch to the throat, make it very, very difficult for them to breathe. You've got punch to the kidney. If you can get it, that can be a little trickier. Punch to the groin. There are joint manipulations. That might be effective. Might not be. The problem is, if you're in a wheelchair, how physically capable are you? What's your stamina? Stamina is incredibly important for anything that goes to the ground, right? Like a punch, okay, you don't need much stamina for a single punch. 1 to 2 punches, cool. You start grappling, stamina is incredibly important. And that's when, fingers to the eyes, that sort of thing can be important. Your intent, if you're fighting for your life, your intent with fingers to the eyes is to take their eyeballs out. It's not to cause them pain, it's to remove their eyeballs. Anything less than that, it's not going to be effective. This is a fight for survival. Take out their eyeballs. You're not just hurting them, you are permanently disabling them to survive. Palm strike to the nose. That's a very good one as well. You can actually kill someone with that. If you hit them hard enough and you go at the right angle, it can shove the bones in the nasal cavity into the brain. I'm not saying it's easy. It is doable. The problem with that is watch out for the teeth, because you can cut yourself on their teeth and get affected. People have died that way. It's the whole thing. It's not great. But if you're going for the eyes and they're like, just boom, nose. At the very least, it's going to hurt like nothing else. I've had my nose broken. It hurts. And it hurt for about 3 months. It wasn't a fight. Well, it was kind of a fight. It's a fun story. I'll tell you if you want it. But, final advice for people in a wheelchair is good luck, first of all. Your chance of getting away are slim if you don't have tools to aid you. Pepper spray is going to be a great tool if you can get close enough. If you can't go close enough, you don't want to reveal your hand early because getting away is going to be tricky. A siren, a little digital thing worn around your neck, or easy to get. If you're in a place, if you generally are in a place that is inhabited by people, that's going to be important. Gun might be hard to get. If you can get it, might not be a bad idea. Make sure you know what you're doing with that gun. Train with it. You have all the correct stuff. And then if it does come to grappling, eyeballs, palm strike to the nose, punch to the temple, any part of the jaw, really. Strike to the throat. If you can get your arm around their neck, there are 2 arteries here. You're not trying to cut off their air. You're trying to cut off the blood flow. Strike to the kidneys in the back. That's going to hurt quite a bit. And then if you can get their fingers and just try to break them, there you go. I don't think a baton will be great, but it might be, as long as you can maneuver yourself to keep them from getting behind you. But if you have a cane, something like a collapsible cane, you might be able to get away with that sort of thing as well, as long as it can hold up to strikes. I don't have a great solution, but there you go. So there's my analysis of that. I hope that helps. I know it's not like a solid, here's your only answer, because there's no one answer to this. But, ow, I just hit my headphone wire. Bite the ear. Yeah, the ears are sensitive. If you can get it. Ooh, spray paint. Great substitute for pepper spray. There's an idea. I don't hate that. Anyway, sorry. I know there are comments, and I just got distracted in my own head being like, what would you do? Because for every solution, there's a counter to it. And if you can make yourself a hard enough target, that might help. Might not. Really depends on the person. But that is sweep the leg. Hopefully that gives some information. Okay, perfect. Lady Dragon's Blood said it helped. I know it's just this jumble of stuff like, there you go. Good luck. But it's difficult because where are you? Who are you? What are your limitations? Who's attacking you? There's so many things, which is why I advocate for don't teach people necessarily like all the moves, at least first. You gotta teach people how to make decisions. Commentator Auditor, thank you so much. Says, butt the ear. Yeah, pull Mike Tyson on the attacker. Yeah, if it's a fight for your life, it's fair game. So, counter to gun, the counter to being held at gunpoint is surrendering. Now, there are a few things, like if you're like, oh, this person has a gun. Sure, you could work your way to them and disable them. That is an option. Prepare for the fight of your life afterwards, though, because they're not going to surrender that gun easily. Even if you get the gun, now they're going to attack you with that, potentially with everything they got. Prepare for that. They very well might not just be like, oh, God, you got my gun. Now, getting a gun from someone requires a lot of fine motor control. And yeah, in a training scenario, that's very easy, potentially, if you practice enough. When it's actually the real thing where you might actually die, your body's probably not going to be great at fine motor control. So, there are ways to train for taking someone's gun that will put you into the correct mindset. But this is something you have to continuously train. If you're at gunpoint, if you can delay them until people see that this is happening, if possible, that might be an option. You might call their bluff and say, shoot me. I don't care. Hey, this man has a gun. That's real risky. Don't really recommend it. But if you're like, oh, I don't think this person's going to shoot me, you might try it. You might die. Right? There are a lot of people like, you got to do this if someone has a gun on you. You don't know the person with the gun. People are going to do things differently. Aaron Reese, thank you so much, says critical thinking under pressure is the term. Yes, thank you. You are correct. You win. You get a point. I don't know what the points are for, but you get one. So if someone has a gun on you, if you also have a gun, you might distract them somehow. Not like, hey, what's that over there? But, you're talking like, I'm getting my wallet. I'm just getting it. No, everything's fine, sir. Don't worry about it. It's fine. And then if you can draw quickly, practice drawing quickly in a high-stress environment, you can get it on them. The moment they turn around, well, the guy's got a gun on you. You could, in America, in most places, that counts as self-defense. You probably could shoot them and get away with it, but I'm not a lawyer. I don't actually recommend it. I know what I would do, because I know how all this works in my area. I've done my due diligence and looked at the laws, but yeah, when someone's got a gun to you, there are a lot of things. Now, my go-to isn't that, like, grab the gun and twist it. A lot of it is more explosive energy towards them, grab them, get them in an arm bar, and then
suggestions for a high-functioning autistic female that is extremely tiny and very little strength. My 20-year-old daughter loves her long walks but shuts down mentally under pressure. She carries pepper spray but...
That's a good question. I'll address that in a second. Let me finish this thought. But yes, good. Yes. Not trying to call you out for being like, how dare you interrupt my thought? That's a great question. I was taught, and I'm pretty confident and competent with armbar type stuff. It requires a lot less fine motor skill. If they're holding a gun out and like, hey, give me your stuff, and I can get close enough, I can sort of bumble my way through it, and then boom, right? I don't want them to know that I know what I'm doing. And I can get their arm. If I can get their arm and their gun's behind me, right, I can then maneuver them and snap their arm or dislocate their shoulder or something. I've done it before. I dislocated the shoulders before with arm bars. I'll do it again. They can't use that arm. They can't use that gun. There are techniques that are going to work for certain people. If you practice this constantly, you're going to be a lot better at it in real world situations. But even in situations where you're like, wow, this person just, like, real world stuff. Like, here's the security footage of this man disarming the gunman. It wasn't that fine motor control. It was, they went from this to aggressive real quick. They changed demeanor immediately, and they followed through. That follow through is going to be incredibly important. Once you make that decision to move, you have to follow through with that decision. So there are a lot of things with that. Now, let me go back to that comment. Judy, thank you so much, by the way, says, take up wood carving, take knife, and stick with you. Hey, fair. Now, a knife won't kill easily. If in an adrenaline-filled situation, being stabbed, you might not even notice it. So a knife might not be the best self-defense thing, with the exception of, I have a knife, don't mess with me, which might scare people away. But in an actual situation where you have to pull a knife, I mean, you're relying on blood loss. That can take a while. That's a whole thing. Defending with a knife can be problematic. Depends. It really depends. Rebecca, all right. Suggestion for high-functioning autistic female is extremely tiny and very little strength. 20-year-old daughter loves her long walks, which shuts down mentally under pressure. Carries pepper spray, but shuts down under pressure. All right, so in the Army, when we trained, in the very, very beginning, there are certain things we're trained on. And a lot of it doesn't make sense initially. And one of my favorite examples is the trays. When you go through the chow hall, or the DFAC, the dining facility, you have your tray, right? It's when you have your tray, you basically walk sideways with your tray and your elbows have to be up. Now, we find out later, this is for grenade training, right? Because when you have a grenade and you have to move up to like wherever it needs to be thrown from.
In high school, I was up against a group. I literally used my head right into the leaders. It hurt, but the fact I was willing to do it kept the rest from engaging.
Yes, I will go over that in a second. Thank you, Chibi, by the way. So you have the trays, and that's literally to teach you when you're holding grenades, you keep your elbows out, because if someone bumps you, boom, the elbows will absorb some of that shock, and you don't drop your grenade or accidentally, do whatever with it. So when you get to it, you twist, pull the pin, throw, take cover, right? It's things like that. When you are trained in these very basic things, right? And basic is literally just you're trained on all these tiny little details so that when you get to the real thing, it's ingrained into your muscle memory. That's, I think, what needs to happen is if she shuts down under pressure, it has to become some sort of muscle memory. So, and I'm not an expert on this by any means, but if you can train her to at the very least get her hands on her OC spray when she finds herself in a potentially threatening environment, that's going to be half the battle. The other half is boom. But hopefully having the hands on the OC spray gives her that mental sort of strength to be like, all right, I'm already there. I can make this choice. I can't guarantee that will work. I'm not an expert in this. But if I was in charge, that would probably be my go-to, is trying to get this person to shut down through stress and then training them when shutting down during stress to reach for the OC spray and put it in their hands. And then hopefully they still are capable of making that decision to use it or not use it. The problem with this is establishing what kind of shutdown would cause them to reach for it. Because if it's like not a situation where that should be a thing, that could be considered assault because of the threat of the use of the OC spray. So that is tricky. Legally, it gets tricky. But in a situation, at the very least, her immediate physical reaction without thinking should be hand-on spray. That would be my go-to if I was training for like a self-defense thing. I can't recommend it professionally, legally, whatever, but I will tell you, that is probably what I would personally do if I were in your situation, Chibi, is, oh, you're getting real nervous? Boom. It's sort of like a safety blanket or a, whatever the term for that is. Hand on that, and then they can make a decision. You then have to teach them when the proper decision to use it is or should be made. But that's a whole thing as well. But that would be my go-to. That would be what I recommend sort of looking into at the very least. I'm sorry, not Chibi. Rebecca, I'm sorry. Rebecca, this is to Rebecca. Chibi was the one with the using the head. Yeah, if you fight with whatever you got, right, you make it clear it's not going to happen without a real struggle. And I can't guarantee every attacker is not going to be ready for that struggle. Some of them aren't. Some of them don't want that struggle. If you fight with everything you got, maybe you're just not worth it. It really depends on the attacker. But yeah, so Chibi says in high school I was up against a group. I literally used my head right into the leaders. It hurt, but the fact I was willing to do it kept the rest from engaging. Yeah. A lot of bullies are cowards at heart. They only go after people they think they can beat. They don't think they can beat the person, they won't engage. Now, is that true for everybody? No. Does that ring true for a lot of them? It sure appears to. Now, in an event of you're being robbed or you're being sexually assaulted, you're this, you're that, maybe, maybe not. Depends on where you are, who you are, who the attacker is, right? If you're fighting back and you're in an apartment and there's nobody else to hear you, that attack is probably not going to be terribly dissuaded. If you're in a public park in some bushes and people are walking by, that probably is going to be a lot more effective because it will draw attention to it. The person doesn't want to get caught. And this is why making that decision and identifying your surroundings and the situation is so incredibly important, because I can give you advice all day. My advice is not going to be applicable, to every single situation. There are so many factors, so many, which is why my advice is kind of like, maybe this, could be that, because there are so many variables. Yeah, if I taught self-defense classes, the majority of the class would just be identifying the situation and making good choices. That would be it. It wouldn't be, here's the moves. That would come much later. It would be, what is the issue you need to address? So, let me, Randy Dandy says, I've had peanut butter apple juice, I think you mean, and it was delicious. Yeah, it was interesting. I didn't dislike it. I thought I wouldn't like it, but I'd sip that for sure. The question is, do you need to start from the beginning? You just got here? We're just going over some basic, terrible advice on self-defense. Basically, the advice is, it's complicated. You need to know what kind of decisions you need to make. And, feel free at some point to go back and check it out. I can't say my advice is streamlined for, making me look competent. But I can tell you that I've had a lot of training. And a lot of the training boils down to, oh my God, you need to know these basic things. Everything after that isn't going to be as useful unless you find yourself in the exact situations where they are. So, all right, so there goes that. There's some self-defense stuff. And thank you, all of you, by the way, for being here, for tuning in. It's nice to have all of you here. I didn't expect to have this many people this early in the morning, for me anyway. But it is delightful. So, let's go over Delete Law's drug use. He, on a stream, let me pull it up. He just smoked a little bit of the ganja. And some people were wondering, is that legal? Is it illegal? And I'll give you a little bit of a video here. So that's him lighting it up and inhaling it and holding it, touching his glasses and breathing it out. Now, is that an actual illicit substance? Well, sure looks like it. Sure looks like it. Now, is that illegal? And he, I believe, is in Texas. In Texas, yes, it is illegal to use marijuana. Okay, cool, got it. That is a crime. Additionally, marijuana is still illegal federally. So here in Washington State, marijuana is legal in the sense that there is no state crime for it. And the state has basically said, we will not prosecute the federal statute on marijuana is still illegal. Do I think marijuana should be illegal? Probably not. Honestly, if there was a vote to make it legal nationally, I would vote, yes, make it legal nationally. Because if we're going to allow alcohol, alcohol I personally feel is worse than marijuana. Here's the deal, though, that hasn't been done yet. So marijuana is still illegal. It is still a crime to do this in Texas. And it's still a federal crime. It's just that some states have said we're not going to prosecute the federal crime, which they're allowed to do to a degree. Now, working on a federal military installation in Washington State was always interesting because sometimes people, civilians, would bring marijuana in their vehicles and we'd be like, hey, you can't have that. They'd be like, well, it's illegal in Washington State. And we'd be like, haha, this is federal property, nerd. We didn't say nerd. It was a thing. So it does get a little weird. But federally, it is still illegal everywhere. It's just that some states have declined to prosecute, which is kind of allowed. Here's the problem. His delete laws has established he owns firearms, at least one. Now, does he still have them? I don't know. He is not allowed to be a user of drugs and an owner or possessor of marijuana. What am I saying? He's not allowed to use drugs and be an owner or possessor of firearms. That's the word. That's what I'm looking for. So, here's the problem with that. Does he own a firearm in this video? Well, we can assume yes. But does he? Like, did he get his firearm, his 44, I believe it was, legally? Is there a paperwork trail? There's a question there. If he got it without a paperwork trail, a lot of people are in trouble. But how do you prove that? Is there anything registered in his name? He was in possession of a firearm in Ironton, but was he the owner of that firearm? There's another question. So, if it can be established that he owns a firearm at this moment in this video, right here, hit the wrong button, then that's a huge problem. That's a federal crime. ATF might get involved. Honestly, like, that's a big deal. That's actually a really big deal, or it could be. If he was merely in possession of a firearm while engaged in these activities, that is also a big deal. But you have to establish that he was in possession of both the firearm and the marijuana, or under the influence of the marijuana and in possession of the firearm at the same time. It's a whole thing. Proving that all of these take place at the same time, as in the ownership and use or possession, can be a little tricky. But if there's paperwork to establish that he owns a firearm, if he did it correctly, hooray. Now, we know he was given a firearm as a gift in one of his videos. There should be paperwork for that, for the transfer of a firearm. It has to be done through a registered firearm dealer, etc., etc. There's federal laws that get involved. If he was given a gun, it was not registered. I believe he's illegally possessing a firearm, which is also an issue. And then, of course, the marijuana use. Because when you apply to own a firearm, when you sign all that paperwork, there's a box that you check that says, I don't use illicit substances, if I remember correctly. And clearly he does, because, hey, check that out. Illicit substances. He's made several statements in several videos, like, I smoke marijuana. I don't get marijuana, but if I'm at someone's house, boom. Now, should it be illegal? That's a debate. Sure. Is it illegal? In the state of Texas, it sure is. Federally, it sure is. So, what he's doing right there in that video, that's a crime in Texas. And he's made that very clear. Oh my God. Easily prosecutable. I mean, you could argue, hey, that's not actually marijuana. It just looks like marijuana. You can't prove it's marijuana. And that would be a good defense. But he stated it's marijuana. So the defense really depends. Could be good, could be bad. I believe it violates YouTube's terms of services, because he is establishing he's committing a crime on video. So there's at least that. I believe that he may be violating YouTube's terms of service. Proving he actually committed the crime could be challenging because there are defenses for it. Proving that he owned a firearm and was using illicit substances can be challenging. Based on his statements, I think that you could get a conviction. But because it's hard to prove this is actually marijuana and not just something that looks like it, but isn't, might make the prosecution or the prosecutor less likely to actually prosecute. So it's a thing. Is he committing a crime? I believe so. Is that crime easily prosecuted? I kind of doubt it. I think this is enough to start an investigation. I think there are enough defenses right now that a prosecutor might be unwilling to really move forward just yet. But definitely something to keep an eye on, that's for sure. Sarah Marie says, he is smoking that like a 14-year-old trying to prove he is cool. Pathetic. Well, I wouldn't know. I would not know what it's like, what it looks like, someone who's experienced, unfortunately. And now, John Pearson is saying video doesn't lie, transparency. But the video shows him smoking something. That something appears to be marijuana. But can we prove that it's marijuana? That's the question. Paul Carroll, of course, an excellent resource, says it's highly unlikely he would be prosecuted in Texas based on this video. The police probably would have needed to raid the house, caught him in the act and seized the drug for testing. See, that's my thought, is you cannot prove that this is marijuana. It looks like marijuana, but you can't prove it is. Now, this might be enough for a warrant to search, but I don't think they've done that. So, see what I'm saying? Paul, excellent point. Very excellent. Master Plan says, if filming yourself committing crimes against YouTube policy, should not all the fraudulent channels and so be obliterated? You'd think so. You would think so. I think it might just be a matter of people not drawing it to YouTube's attention. And I'm not by any means telling people to do that. That is not a... I'm just saying. John Thomas, thanks so much, says, self-defense, start reading the trifold to the assailant. They'll run. This doesn't make sense. My brain. Jess asked, what non-illicit substance do you smoke in a bowl? Well, probably not very many, but you could. You could smoke whatever. How do you prove that that's marijuana without testing it? That's the question. That's his defense right there. If that is marijuana, he's committing several crimes, potentially. 1, illicit use of marijuana in Texas. 2, potentially violating federal law on ownership of firearms. And Paul puts out a good thing. There's also the issue with Chili's film only approach to law enforcement. If no other evidence of a crime is gathered, a good defense attorney can work around the video. Yes. Now, people's video doesn't lie, sure. But video doesn't tell you everything you need to know for prosecution. It's a thing. It's a thing. Well, hello, baby. I think that might be the solution. I cannot call for it. I will not call for it. But that is a solution. KC says, is he allowed to smoke on bond? Ooh, well, that's a question. Because he's not in the state of Ohio. So is the bond don't commit crimes, or is the bond don't commit Ohio crimes? And we also can't prove that this is a... Oh, I've moved my foot pedals. It's a problem. This is a crime. We can assume that it looks like a crime, and it might be enough for a warrant, but we can't prove that that is actually an illicit substance. Internet God says there's only one way to prove whether it was really marijuana or not. Did he end the video eating Oreos? I don't believe he did, but I can check that. That apple juice is... I'm gonna try to stay focused. I have a reaction to apple juice. Rennie, I have a question for you. Do we want to give them a tease of the video I've been putting together? You know which one. I'll wait. All right, so now that we covered that, we covered the self-defense, we covered the marijuana use. Do we want to maybe do some review of a First Amendment auditor? And if you got a First Amendment auditor you want me to go over, drop a name. Feel free. Just one screenshot? That's it? Not even a little bit of the video? Okay, a screenshot. She says screenshot. She does screenshot. That's fine. Sorry, guys. One screenshot. Rogue, play nice, or you know. No more than a screenshot. All right. We find a good screenshot. There's a good one. Whoop! That's all you get. That's all you get. All right. Oh, it's a good time. It's a good time. That's all you get. There's a project. It's almost. Hopefully, it comes out this week. Hopefully, maybe we'll see. Floyd Wallace, the one where he flips upside down. What? Third Amendment auditors. You guys know I did a Third Amendment audit, right? On a military installation. I might re-release that video. But Lord Baconshire, what are you talking about? It's just apple juice. Subsection Karens we call ambers. What? Ambers? But do the guy that comes zoo trying to run over the police and gets tased. Oh, that was a good one. Let's see. Columbus Zoo tase. I mean, I could go over that. Police activity, put out a video on that. All right, let's go over this. Why not? And then we'll find a probably a First Amendment auditor, see what we can find. All right, so we have some sort of, what is this, traffic stop?
What are you doing?
And it's that
Pull
Jeep?
over. Stop!
What else for you?
What are you doing?
I'm trying to get my wife and kids.
Okay, and you think that trying to kill somebody is the way to do that?
I don't know what he was doing to try to kill somebody. There might be something in the description. All right, so police are directing traffic, and then he's confronted by police. Hold on, what? Just being stupid? Like, what's...
What?
What else for you?
I don't know.
Trying to kill somebody is the way to do that? Give me your driver's license.
All right, so this is a traffic stop. You got to give a driver's license because apparently he was doing something. I would guess something like reckless endangerment. If they're saying, are you trying to kill somebody? It might be something like that. It could be any traffic infraction. But driver's license, you got to give it.
Give me your driver's license. I'm asking for your driver's license.
Nope, that's illegal. So depending on what state you're in, that could be fleeing and eluding. It could be certainly obstruction. And there might be other things that specifically apply to this, but that's definitely a crime right there. Potentially felony level stuff.
I asked. He said he's going to the zoo.
So at this point, you would call it up and say, hey, we got a white Jeep, white male driver. He just fled from us. If they had the plate, you can give it. I don't know if they would have had the plate. I don't know if they would have even called it up because without the plate, kind of tricky. But it doesn't matter because he comes back.
Hey, watch out. Don't let him kill somebody. Hold on, guys. Hold on. Hey, man, get out of here. Go ahead. Go up. Here, stop this guy.
I do like this, that they're saying, hey, like, you people that don't need to be in this area, get out of this area. Before I continue, Aaron, thank you so much. Since I like the dude that tried to run, got hit, and fell face first into a curb. If all stupidity hurt like that, we would have less stupid people. I wish we had less stupid people, I'll tell you. I'll tell you right now. Tones Overthinks, it says it looked like he drove through the scene and weaved around traffic recklessly. Well, there you go. That would be that. Proper lane change, that'd be grounds for a traffic stop for sure. Absolutely. Thank you, Tough Jiggly, as well, for pointing that out. Because I don't know what the whole deal with the starting point is, but I do know what happens next. Let's skip forward. They see that he's in the other lane. They stop him. Standing in front of the vehicle. Little dangerous. Little dangerous. Our SOP was do not ever stand in front of the vehicle, because if they try to run, you're going to die. But they might not have that. It's fine. Doesn't matter. They're holding onto the guns because this is pretty much a felony incident at this point. In case you're wondering. And he runs again. That's a problem. There's a second charge.
125. We just had somebody about.
You have the initial traffic infraction. You have the first running. You have the second running. Oh, that's a problem.
Hit us multiple times out here. Start me another car.
All right, runs to his car. Good, 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 good. I see too many videos of people like, oh, I'm going to chase after this person. Like, on foot? You have a car. Get in your car. So you'll have to see it. Beep, boop, boop. They catch up to him. And Taser, good call, because he's already run twice. You can assume he's going to run a third time. And he's not wearing anything. You see his shirt right there? That's not going to stop Taser probes. If he was wearing a jacket, okay, yeah, maybe Taser's not going to be affected. But Taser's a great call here. Let me play this. And then the Taser is deployed while the other officer goes to reach out to him. J-Car, by the way, thank you so much, says he didn't want to wait in line to pick up at zoo. There you go. So, here's my only real issue is first officer doesn't yell taser, 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 which you don't have to, but it's basically a warning to the other officer, and you can see him here grabbing onto the guy. You're warning him like, hey, step back, prongs are about to go. Now, we do get training in the whole taser training program, is if you're an officer wrestling with the guy, and you get one of the prongs, you hold on to him, and you take that taser jolt, because you're going to get hit with that taser too, because that circuit has been completed. One prong is, you're going to feel it, but it's not going to lock you up. It's not going to be that crazy. Two prongs is going to lock you up if done appropriately, meaning you're crossing the hemispheres, whatever. If your guy gets hit by one prong, and you, the officer, get hit by the other, you latch on to them, and you ride that lightning. You ride it. So, presumably this guy who's reaching out to the suspect, and we can see the taser right there at the bottom. Presumably he would know this. Fortunately, he doesn't have to deal with it. But no one yelled taser, taser, taser. Is that a deal breaker? No. It's just, I would have liked to have seen it. But it's a good hit. Get on the ground! And he just flops. Arms to the side. Love it. Good stuff.
Get on your stomach now! Get on your stomach!
Stomach is good. Yep. He starts to get up. No, no, no. On the stomach means flat on the ground. For those of you who don't know, if the police are saying roll to your stomach, just roll over. Your stomach needs to be touched on the ground. Stomach needs to be touched on the ground. These commands aren't bad. These are good commands. We don't have confusing commands coming from multiple people. Not bad. Not bad.
Get on the ground. Do not move.
Okay. We see the guy is pretty compliant at this point, fortunately. This officer has the knee in the back to keep him from getting up. That was consistent with my training. I've had civilian training that says do not do that for more security related stuff when I worked at that high tier level security stuff that I don't really talk about. And then he's got some joint manipulation there. It looks like he's got the arm sort of locked in. Beautiful. Handcuffs come out. Hey, guess what? It'd be difficult to do this with Velcro cuffs, wouldn't it? Gets him in cuffs. Other officers holding his hand. He's got his fingers locked so that if the guy tries anything, joint manipulation, digit manipulation, super easy. Oh, I love this. This is great. This is a great thing to see, this right here. They're working together really, really, really well.
I'm sorry. No. It's ridiculous.
The guy just being dumb.
Absolutely ridiculous. You almost hit a trooper.
Is he intoxicated? I don't know. This feels like an intoxicated kind of a thing.
Start me a supervisor.
It's just about my wife and kids, who are me.
Inducing panic and driving under the influence. It was intoxication. Yes. Yeah, intoxicated person generally makes poor decisions. So there you go. Excuse me. Got it. Is Rogue playing nice, folks? I gotta ask, because he does that sort of thing. It's Rogue, are you gonna play nice or not? I'm not gonna have you here if you're not gonna play nice. Feeling like he's not playing nice. I'll give him a second chance. I'll give him one chance. One more chance, Rogue. I'm going to be nice to you. Okay? I'm going to be better than you. So, yeah, and that's the arrest. And they did a really great job. Literally the only issue I have is the officer didn't yell taser, taser, taser. And that's only for the other officer involved in making sure that he doesn't get hit with the prong. Rogue is fine? Got it. Okay, let's say. We'll let him be here for now. For now. So far. Yeah, fair. All right. And then there's that. That's the incident. As they arrest him without further incident, it would appear. He's got the prongs in. I imagine they take the prongs out. Cool. Excellent. How we decided on an auditor to go over? I don't know. Does Rogue Nation have an arrest video? Let's see. A new one? That might be fun. Is there anything I haven't gone over yet? Oh, Rogue Nation says, exclusive, unbelievable. Arrested for trespassing on public property. Yo, let's talk about that, Rogue Nation, since you're here.
Does what it wants.
Beep, boop, boop, beep, boop, boop, beep, 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 beep. He's on a sidewalk. Cool, neat.
What?
Still on that sidewalk. I'd love to see it. Just filming. I had no problem with this filming, by the way. This right here, great. Here's my problem. Here's this car going to turn. Okay? He's turning. And then he just walks into the road and obstructs that vehicle. That's a problem. In some states, that's a crime. Well, infraction at least. Look at you. You didn't make the choice to actually enter that intersection until you saw the vehicle turning. Now, does that vehicle have to yield to you? Presumably, but like, it's a weird choice to make. Okay. Okay.
Wow.
Wow, what?
Lots of vehicles. Wow.
Lots of vehicles, Rogue. Lots of vehicles.
Tons of vehicles.
Oh, so many. It's almost like people drive cars. What are you talking about?
There's a crosswalk.
It sure is, bud. Let's see what happens.
There's a crosswalk.
Uh-huh. And then what? Oh, hooray, you're crossing the crosswalk. Good job, buddy. Good job. Yeah, so someone said this looks like a school zone. It does, right? This is something that officers often do is during hours of, when people are coming into a school, they might have patrol there to make sure that everyone's able to get to the school safely.
This corner, 187.
Mm-hmm, cool, neat, and? All right, that's suspicious. Oh, look, there he is. Hello. It's not weird at all.
Thank you. Yeah. No, I'm all right, thank you. Hey, since you interacted with me, what's your name and badge?
Come on, guy. I mean, sure, yeah, what is his name and badge number? But you instigated that interaction intentionally. Come on.
Number. Thank you.
All right, everyone's doing great so far. Oh, is that not you? Is that not you, Rogue? Oh, but you posted it. So you posted it under your channel. Oh. As if you support it. So we're going to keep going, okay? Now, Aaron has a good point. He says this is an example of the community policing they keep saying we need more of. Yes! This is great. It's keeping kids safe. What's wrong with that? I love it. Gonna keep going because there's a 47-minute video.
That's good, good, good.
Good. That's good.
People obeying the law.
Mm-hmm.
Traffic flows here.
Fast forwarding. Pop-a-deep-a-doop, ba-doop, ba-ba-ba-boop, boom. Okay. Uh-oh. Yeah, he's on public property now? No, he's not. Here's the deal. It's exclusive, unbelievable arrest for trespassing on public property. Blah, 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 blah. He's no longer on public property. He's just entered the property of what appears to be a school. We can even see a school bus right there. Look at the school bus. He's not allowed to be there. Shocking, I know. He's no longer on public property. He's crossed that line. Oh, he's past the fence. He's very much past the fence. Look at this. What does it say? It's mirrored, like literally a mirror image. Did you do that so that they wouldn't call you out, Rogue? I don't know. It says buses only. Rogue, is this filmer a bus? Is he a bus? Is this filmer a bus, Rogue? Is he? I don't think he's a bus. Gosh. Huh. So that would be a trespass. Let's see. Sorry, let me go back. All right, so this thing. So that was a trespass. Sure looks like it. And then he walks away. Can't exactly say he didn't see the sign. He filmed it. So now he's wandering around the outside. Good for him. What school is this? Of course the image is mirrored. Of course it is. I can't see it through the elementary. Oh, it's an elementary school.
695 Rolling Acres.
Good. Good for you for supporting the filming of an elementary school, Rogue. Good for you. Good for you.
Hi, brother.
Oh, what are you going to do here? So let's see. Who is this guy? Activism News Network? Is that what we're looking at? No, I don't know. Who is this? If this isn't you. This isn't you, Rogue. Are you just taking credit for somebody else? Oh, that's kind of bad. Oh, he just entered school property. Congratulations, trespassing again. So that's 2 counts of entering the school property without permission. Now, only one of them had a sign saying that he shouldn't actually be there because it's for buses only. Okay? The other one, does that count? Did anyone notate or give him a notice that he was trespassing? No. Did he cross a fence line? Yes. Was there access through that fence? Sure. Could you argue back and forth? Yes. So that second alleged trespass, The first one, though, that's a problem, potentially. So let's see what happens. Oh,
itself. So I'm just Yeah, I know that you have your emergency lights on, and per your policy, I don't believe that they could be on unless there's an emergency.
Incorrect. They can be on, and they are on, to alert people of the presence of the officer. You can't turn on the lights unless there's an emergency is not correct. They can have those lights on to warn other people to be cautious in that area. Oh my God. This isn't complicated stuff. That's the reason. Jesus Christ. Rogue, you've been doing this long enough. You should know this. Oh.
See, per your procedure. So I'm just requiring if you think you're in violation of procedure right now because there's no emergency.
Yeah. We've been instructed when we do the school zone is just to raise awareness for people to slow down. So.
Oh, look at that. He says it's a school zone. It's so that people are aware that they have to slow down. God, I'm good at this, aren't I? It's almost like I know what I'm talking about. Rogue, it's too bad you don't.
Yeah, but you're...
Now, where is Rogue? Is he still in the comments? He's been awfully silent. Let me just check real quick. There he is. He says, yup, I stole it. That sounds like you.
Procedure itself says it's only for emergencies.
Prove it. Prove it. Rogue, where's that proof? I mean, you stole the video. Where's the evidence?
Thank you.
Skipping forward some more. Oh, here's a guy who's concerned about a man filming potentially children. Now, filming children, is that illegal? Depends on the state. Now, publishing content on children, if they're there, which I haven't seen any of this video yet, I don't think. That could be a violation of YouTube's terms of services at the very least. It depends on the state, though, when it comes to the actual laws.
What's your name?
He doesn't have to tell you.
You offered to help me. My help is I need your name.
Doesn't have to tell you. I do like that the man is filming the interaction, though. Be like, look, this is happening. Good, yes, film. Film.
In the blue shirt. Sir, in the blue shirt. I'm requesting your name.
He doesn't have to give it to you. It's a request. Oh, it's so crazy how that works.
Name. What's your pedophile ID?
Oh, are these children?
All right,
Gerald
Gerald,
Ford.
what's your employee ID number?
Employee ID number? There's no requirement to give that. What are you talking about? What are you... Rogue, this is really the guy that you want to promote? Come on. Come on. Surely you know better than this. I mean, it's Rogue Nation, though, so I would be surprised if he did know better.
I don't have one. All right, man over here.
Risen says, I think Artie Corporate Fiction covered this video, or Radical, can't remember, but I do believe this may be someone other than Rogue Nation. Yes, and so I believe it is not Rogue Nation. Here's the deal. Rogue Nation put it on his channel to support and promote this guy. And therefore, anything this guy does that is wrong, I'm going to also apply to Rogue Nation, because Rogue Nation needs to know that he should know better than to support this. If this guy is wrong, then Rogue Nation is also wrong for putting this video up. Anyway, with that title, with this title, exclusive, unbelievable, trespass on public property. See, that's the thing. Like, you're going to put that title up? This also applies to you then, Rogue Nation. Shocking, I know. He's probably going to put a video out being like, oh, Blue Bacon doesn't know this wasn't me. I know it wasn't you, bud. I know it wasn't you. You put that video out, I'm going to put this clip in front of it. I'm going to take your video, and it's just going to be this clip edited in front of whatever your nonsense. I know this isn't you, but you're promoting this guy. You're supporting his nonsense, and therefore you are to blame for promoting this nonsense. It's crazy how that works. Oh my God. Anyway. What are these? So do we have kids here? I mean, that person in that, whatever color this is, I mean, that kind of looks like a kid. There's more officers involved. Skip. Obviously, some parents can be very concerned about this sort of thing. Yes? Shocking, I know. Why would a parent not be okay with their children being filmed by a stranger? I can think of a lot of reasons. It's not that complicated.
Block, very dangerous. Crosswalk to pedestrians. Have to go outside. This is very dangerous. Very dangerous.
Is it? I mean, yeah, the guy is actually blocking the crosswalk. You got him there. How dangerous is it really? Not that dangerous. Skipping ahead.
Yeah.
Hold on. Okay, more officers.
Yeah. I come over, but the cross, that's blocked.
I don't think there is a crosswalk right there, bud.
You should probably issue them a ticket for blocking the crosswalk.
This person in this car rolling down the window being like, oh, I want to get involved. You don't want to get involved, bud.
Yeah, they're blocking the crosswalk right there, and right there.
No, I do have a question, because someone brought it up in the chat. Bro, why are you so cool with people filming children? I feel like, I mean, I don't really want children filmed. I don't think there's a really good reason to film them. In this situation, at least. Why are you cool with this? Why would you support this? Come on, guy. Where are you, Rogue? Where are you? Are you still here? Come on. Are you still here? Let me see if I can find you. Oh, I think Rogue Nation left because you got scurred. Aw. Rogue, come on. What's wrong, buddy? You not like this one? Okay.
Yeah.
Pretty much every day of the week it's like this.
Yeah, but state law says they can't block a crosswalk.
Okay. This is gonna how this is gonna be, but I'll tell them to move back. But that's
Yeah.
about all we can do.
Officer discretion. I love it.
Yeah, both of them.
Do you
Because
live around here?
that doesn't matter.
No, I'm just saying, you know the traffic how it is every day, right?
That's why I'm here filming. Yeah, because of
It's
the
like that
flow
every
of
day.
traffic.
Monday through Friday, it's like that during the school year.
Yeah. We have.
Okay, so there's a crosswalk. Okay, Rogue is still here. Got it. There's a crosswalk. There's a crosswalk that's being blocked. There are two crosswalks being blocked. So yes, an officer could issue a ticket, or the officer's questioning and say, "Hey, do you just mind moving back?" Cool. Problem solved.
Have to do something about it because it's dangerous.
That's why we have an officer out here that directs traffic.
It's dangerous to block these intersections. Well, yeah, but we have an officer here to literally address that. So, not necessarily to write tickets, make sure everybody's safe. He can direct traffic. If you need to cross, be like, "Hey, officer, do you mind holding traffic so I can cross?" And he goes, "Sure." Bloop, bloop, bloop. It's that simple. Where's the confusion? I don't understand it.
Yeah.
That's all we really can do.
Hey, look at that! He's helping! Yay, good officer! Hooray! I love it! Rogue, where are you?
about
Why
this
don't you
guy
talk
up
about
here?
this? John Thomas, thank you so much, says, "You hurt Rogue's fee-fees." Sounds like it. Now, Paul Carroll says, "Police can direct traffic in instances of unusual or excessive traffic to facilitate the effective use of the roads." Exactly! Exactly, thank you. And Fiercey, welcome to the Bacon Bits. Thank you so much, by the way. Hope you enjoy it. You and everyone else in the Bacon Bits will get access to that video that I showed that screen grab of. Let me see if I can give you another little taste of it. Second, Rennie, I'm giving them another taste. No, Blue, don't do it. Don't give them the taste. I'm going to do it. You can't stop me. Bam! That's all you get. When that video goes out, members are going to get first dip. They're going to see it first. Just a few days early, that's all. But, I mean, come on. You got to have questions, right? What is that? Now, if you can wait the extra few days, wait the extra few days. But if you're like, "I must know what this is," well, members will get it first. Let you know right now. Anyway, let's keep going.
Remember, there's a lot of traffic here right now.
Yeah. Well, still, he's black. They're
How dare you give me a reasonable explanation?
blocking.
All right, let's keep going. Let's see where the
Crosswalk.
Sir, can I help you?
Yeah. What's your name?
My name is Greg Dudley. I'm the principal here. Can I help you?
Oh, the principal. He didn't actually have to give his name, I don't think. But good for him for doing it. What a cooperative and helpful, friendly gentleman.
Stop getting close to me.
I'm coming over here to have a conversation with you. Can I help
Stop right there. Do not come
He has no authority to actually tell him to stop right there. But that's cool.
any closer. I will defend myself.
With what? Against what threat? Someone being close to you is not necessarily threatening. This guy doesn't look at this guy. Is that man, look at that shirt. Is that threatening? He looks great. He looks like a delightful human being. Defend yourself. Okay, bud.
you? Sir, can I help you?
No. Yeah, you can. There's a
No! Actually, yes!
gentleman here with silver hair, right there in the blue shirt. He wouldn't identify himself.
He doesn't have to, buddy. It's so easy. It's a very simple thing. Oh my god, what's confusing about this? Rogue, why would you promote this nonsense?
I'd like his name
sorry.
and employee ID number.
No.
What's your purpose out here?
The traffic flow, how it's messing everything up.
Yeah, but how long have you been in this area?
That's irrelevant.
Yeah, no, it's very relevant because
It's messing everything up for me, who is choosing to stay here with no real purpose other than to make a fuss. Everyone's inconvenienced, except not really. Like, what's the actual problem, bud?
Why
This
is it
lady, look at
relevant?
this lady, look at this lady.
Every day the traffic is bad out here. This is a school zone.
She didn't have a problem crossing the street, did she? If she did, she goes, "Hey, officer, do you mind helping?" Boom! He helps. Where's the brain in that head, Rogue? Where is it? Come on, where is it?
Well, I'm a journalist gathering content
Neat. And what?
for a story.
Okay, well then gather your team, but don't don't cause a scene.
I'm not causing a scene. I'm
You are causing
filming.
a scene.
How am I
But the
causing a
problem is,
scene?
you know the traffic out here. The
Wait,
traffic
wait,
is
wait.
bad.
You accuse me of causing
I'm
a
not-
scene.
I'm saying
How
don't.
did I?
I don't know, filming children in elementary school, I think, maybe, possibly. Just a thought. Maybe that's a little weird. If you're documenting, like, oh, traffic is bad here, great, document the traffic. But that's not what you're documenting. You're filming into the school. That's not where the traffic problems are that you're complaining about. Stop lying to the officer. This is very obvious stuff.
Look, I say don't cause a scene.
I'm
Do whatever
not.
you're doing. No one's saying you can't be on the sidewalk.
I mean,
Christopher Ward says, Bacon, you're on fire today. I'll tell you what, I think it's because of this. There's a lot there. I'm sassy this morning. Artie? Hello, Artie. What are you humming? Artie? What's the hum? Oh, I'm just so excited to just roast Rogue to his face. I'm sorry. It's a good morning. Why won't it play? There we go.
okay.
We're skipping because it's just a conversation.
This is the school.
That's your official.
That's my official thing. Correct?
So anytime in the city of Lady Lake, if somebody is in a crosswalk,
Nope.
Chad and Steph says this guy does not sound healthy. His last remaining days could be spent enjoying life, not being a public nuisance. Now, I can't speak for his health, but yeah, like, why is this how you're... Come on. You could ask the same question. Why is this how I'm spending my time? Will I enjoy it? Does this man enjoy it? I don't know. But, like, bruh. Some better hobbies, maybe? I don't know. And Rogue Nation, what about this are you supporting? I'm so confused. Aaron, thanks so much. Says, here in Methburg, West Virginia, we have a bad drug problem. Well, I think Methburg is your problem right there. I assume that that's not the real name. Anyway, this kind of stupid is dealt with by those same people, usually violently. No, I can't call for violence here.
because of
What
the
are you talking
vehicle.
about?
You're not listening. Listen to what I said.
All right, what are you
During
saying?
When the school lets out,
Oh,
this is how the traffic is every single
Yeah.
day, Monday through Friday during the school year.
so that's how you interpret
So
the
this
law.
This is how, unfortunately, the way
Officer
the traffic
discretion.
is and how congested it is, we're going to try the best we
Come
can.
on.
All right, but you interpret the law that since
I'm not
there's a
interpreting
school
it. I'm not
here,
interpreting it.
that they can block the
I think.
crosswalk.
There's no interpreting any law.
Oh, because the law's
Okay, that wasn't. There's no interpreting any law. That's not a great statement. But okay.
the law.
Oh, Rogue has a video of himself at this school? Of course he does. Because Rogue's a follower, not a leader.
There's no interpreting.
All right, where's the arrest? Give me that arrest. I'm here for the
Your
arrest.
business. Interrogation. 119.
Wait, hold on. I can fix this.
This is proper school. All right, you're getting
Now what's
under color of
This is
law.
important.
Yes, I am. What's your name?
You are.
You have ID on you?
Nope.
ID on you? You have
No.
ID. Now I need ID because now you're going to be trespassed.
Oh, really?
Ooh,
You'll be trespassed.
Nice. Let's do it.
Hold on.
You're telling me to do something. I need the location on where to go.
On how to find the information.
No,
Sir,
I
I'm
don't.
asking you to leave campus. At this
Are
point,
you
I'm asking
trespassing me?
Back on
I'm
the
asking you to
sidewalk.
leave campus. Sir.
Are you trespassing me from
Yes,
public
at this point
property?
in time, I'm asking you to leave campus.
Am I being a trespass?
Once you trespass, you will be trespassed.
Nice. Let's do it.
I'm going to ask you to leave campus one more time, sir.
You're asking politely. I'm a citizen. I pay taxes here.
Go off the school property back on the sidewalk.
Is that a trespass warning?
No, if you said.
All right, I'm allowed to be here then.
You
I've
want
asked you politely to leave.
I know you have. Stop getting close to me. You're getting aggressive.
Leave campus. Are you going to leave campus?
I don't have to.
Then I am going to trespass you.
Nice.
You have ID on you? You have
No.
ID? Now I need ID.
now this is going to depend on the state. Very much on the state. Does he have to provide ID if he has received a trespass notice? He might, actually, in this case. Did he trespass? I think that first time he actually entered the school property, yes, that is 100% trespass because he's on a bus. And then he saw the sign. He didn't immediately leave. He sort of stuck around just a little bit. And then he went back onto the property again. Right. So a trespass notice, we have identified him as someone who has entered the school property, definitely across lines that were no longer public. So getting his ID for a trespass notice is going to depend on the state. What state is this? Let me see. Lady Lake Police Department. All right, now it's time for some research. And that's going to be, it looks like Florida. News Now Gacy, like John Wayne Gacy? Apparently this guy's News Now Gacy. All right. It kind of looks like, hold on. Stand by here for a second. Ah. Well, well, well. Oh, no. Well, that's certainly interesting. I'll get there in a second. Hold on. Florida is a stop and ID state. So, reasonable suspicion to believe this man was trespassing. Now, whether or not he was actually on school property at this time. He was on a sidewalk at this time, but we do know he entered school property, which is reasonable suspicion at the very least, and grounds for detention. Yeah, he can be required to ID at that point, it would appear. The very least. So, does he have to give his ID in this circumstance? I would say, based on my minimal research, there's more research to be done. He does have to ID. And I think that's where the problem is going to be. The smoking jacket, it's over there somewhere. Do we want the smoking jacket? $15 donation, I'll get the smoking jacket on. Well, it might be New York. It said it was a Lady Lake Police Department. And Lady Lake is Florida. Maybe there's New York. Let's see. Lady Lake Police Department, New York. I don't know, maybe if Rogue could tell us. It still says Florida. I'm going to guess Florida. If this is Florida, then he probably has to identify himself. So. Oh, J-Car says in Virginia, the sidewalk in front of the school is considered school property. That's interesting. Now, that might not survive a Supreme Court challenge because there have been other Supreme Court challenges to public sidewalks that are on other people's property. For example, U.S. versus Kokinda, where basically it was established, I think it was U.S. versus Kokinda, that even if the sidewalk is property of, in this case, the United States Postal Service, it is indistinguishable from the sidewalk that is not under their dominion, I guess, under their the property lines, and therefore is still considered a traditional public forum. So I don't think that's really going to be a big factor here if it went all the way to the top. But if this is on school property, it depends on that road as well. If that's a private road belonging to the school for the purpose of school stuff, yeah, that's private property, and he could be trespassed from that entire road. Do I know if that's the case, though? No. I mean, I could do more research. I could, what is this? Lady Lake Elementary School. Lady Lake Elementary School. Villages Elementary Lady Lake School in Florida. We go to Google Maps. Done this before, I'll tell you what. And let's look at Street View. Yup. That looks like it. All right, so I think we found it. Now we check this road. Oh, what is this? What did I just find? There's a sign? What does that sign say? I'll get you guys there in a minute. Saying stand by. Speeding fines doubled, so it is a school zone. Got it, of course. No shock there. Give me the street. No, I think it's a public street. This is a public street. Okay, so that street definitely is not owned by the school. The sidewalk may be on school property, but it should still be considered a traditional public forum because it is not disconnected from the rest of the sidewalk. So I don't think that's going to be something we're going for there. But it's good. Arash, thank you so much. Says, hey, buddy, hope all is well. It's going well. I hope you're doing well as well. You know, I hope things are good for you. Good to have you here, of course. Yeah, real-time research. I do my research. Thank you very much. Now, in this stream, I generally do less research than in a video because time. So I'll generally be less of, this is definitely the case. But it is a school zone. I think the fact that he's on, I think this is public property that he's on. Despite whether or not the school owns it, I think it will be considered a traditional public forum, meaning that the filming shouldn't be an issue, his presence shouldn't be an issue in this case. But he did enter school property. He did. We know this for a fact. He filmed it. And so they should be able to issue a trespass warning because he already entered the school twice without permission, once in violation of a sign, which could be criminal trespass on its own. I kind of doubt it. That seems like a bit of a stretch. But it's not unreasonable for them to be like, hey, don't go back onto the property. Now, if he's trespassed from that specific sidewalk, that might be an issue. But I kind of have my suspicion that the issue is going to be failure to ID. So let's keep going.
Because now you're going to be trespassed.
Oh, really?
Come on. You have to have your ID. Now I'm conducting a thing where I'm going to trespass you.
Are you acting under color of
This
law?
feels very familiar. I think I have seen this video.
Yes, I am. What's your name?
You are.
You have
Okay,
ID
not the correct answer, but okay.
on you?
Nope.
What's your name?
I'm not giving it.
Oops, that's
You're
a
now
problem.
being officially trespassed from the school grounds because you went
Okay.
and you were told to.
I'm officially
So
trespassed.
now what's your name?
Not giving it to you.
You need to give me your name.
State the law that says I have to give you
You are
that.
being trespassed from the school property.
I understand.
You can stay on this sidewalk. You
Stay
understand?
back. Stop
No,
getting
no.
aggressive.
That's good. That's good. You can stay on the sidewalk. That is correct. However, my very small amount of research I've just done, and it probably could be, if you do more research, you could probably say you're wrong, and I'd be happy to look into it further. But my initial quick research indicates that this is a stop and ID state, meaning that he has to give his identification, not necessarily his card, but he has to identify who he is to this officer in this case. So, sure, he can stay on that sidewalk, but I do believe he has to identify himself.
You better give me your ID.
Am I being detained?
You're going to be in a second.
Am I being
I
detained?
need your ID. I need
Stop.
At this point, the officer should say, yes, you are detained right now. Give me your identification. He really should say that. We'll see.
Getting aggressive. Stop.
He's not being aggressive. That's absolutely absurd.
Stop getting aggressive.
Or your name. Give me your name.
Am I being
Are you the one
detained?
that was trespassed from the hacienda?
Now, Arisen brings up a good point. The sign on the first trespass wasn't readable unless you enter through there. Could be on visible on the sidewalk side. Just wasn't filmed, which is a very good point, and that would definitely come into the defense. And then it'd be argued, well, how long did he stay after he read that sign? How long does it take to actually understand what that sign says? So, yeah, a criminal trespass again would be a stretch, but he's definitely trespassed. He's entered that school property without permission, and now they want him not to do that again. So, yes, I do believe he would have to be. He can be compelled legally to provide identification.
Am I being detained?
Are you the one that got trespassed?
Am I legally being detained?
I'm asking you a question.
If you say I'm all right.
I mean, am I detained is a good question in this case. I can't fault him for that. Also, Mark Jones, thank you. Thank you for joining, by the way. Welcome to the Bacon Bits. Am I being detained is a valid question in this case. The officer really needs to say, yes, you are, because he is detained at this point. He should be detained at this point. There's grounds to detain him at this point. So, yeah, you know?
Right.
If you go back on that school property, you're going to be trespassed. You're going to go back on that school property?
I don't answer questions.
So I need you.
Now, Chicken Monkey says he was asked by the principal to leave, so he was trespassing. Well, he wasn't on school property when he was asked to leave. That just establishes he cannot go back. But to issue that official trespass notice to get on paperwork, you would need his information. He was on a public sidewalk or something functionally identical to a public sidewalk to the point where it should be considered a public sidewalk, or at least an easement, etc. So, Miss Lonnie, thank you so much. Welcome to the Bacon Bits. Let me do a little more. Hold on. I'm rubbing against my microphone there. Orlando, no. Why you gotta be this way? Look, I like to make sure I get you guys the right information. Let's see. Alright, so Florida has a stop and frisk law, 901.151. Whenever law enforcement officers of the state encounter any person under their circumstance which reasonably indicate that such person has committed, is committing, or is about to commit a violation of the criminal laws of the state or the criminal ordinance of any municipality or county, the officer may temporarily detain such person for the purpose of ascertaining the identity of the person temporarily detained and the circumstances surrounding the person's presence abroad. Okay, yeah, so you could articulate this man intended to enter the property again, and therefore detention could be articulated to be reasonable. Right? Sure, why not? And therefore, under Florida's stop and frisk law, he would have to identify himself. I'm going to stick with, I think he's required to identify himself, and he's failing to do so, so that could be a violation of law, which means he could be arrested.
Stop getting aggressive.
Not for the trespass, for the failure to ID. Rogue has misstated the reason, probably intentionally. Ugh, because Rogue does that. He's kind of known for it.
I need your ID now.
Am I being detained?
You're going to be in a second because...
Okay, that officer needs to say yes, because going to be in a second doesn't count in this circumstance. This is a problem for the officer as well. The officer is not correct here. He's not wrong necessarily, but there's a step he needs to take that he has not taken yet. Come on, guy, I believe in you.
I'm going to trespass you from the school property.
Go ahead.
So you need to... I need your ID or I need your name.
Okay, the officer needs to say, your behavior indicates you intend to enter that property again, and therefore, because I suspect that you're about to commit another crime, you are detained, give me your ID. If that's what's happening, that's what he needs to say. He needs to articulate that. Right now, the officer has not taken that step. He needs to.
What law states that I have
you
to?
were on school property and he told you like 5 times to get off.
You don't understand the law, do you?
I understand the law.
I'm going to throw you a lifeline.
Okay, well, I'm going to throw you a lifeline right now.
Stop getting aggressive.
I need to know
your
name.
Supervisor here.
I am the supervisor.
I need the chief here.
I am in charge right now.
I need the chief.
So I need your identity.
Yeah, they're not going to give you the chief. They have no requirement to give you the chief. But the officer's not wrong. He's just not articulating it correctly. That's the situation.
Because you were on school property and
what's
you
your name?
Trespass. You see my name.
All right.
So I need your name.
I'm gonna.
So the whole name and badge number thing comes back to the First Amendment right to petition the government for redress of grievances. And you can say, you know, I have to have that information identifying an individual for the purpose of redressing a grievance. That doesn't mean you need the name. That doesn't mean you need a badge number. You need a unique identifier, which for a lot of departments is a name and badge number. Is that guy wrong for saying you have it right here, you can see it? Depends on the policy of the department. Some departments are like, you only have to have it on your uniform. Some are, you actually have to verbalize it. I don't know what the case is here, but an argument can certainly be made. This guy's filming it. He has every ability to actually film what the guy's name is and identify it later, and therefore there is no issue under the First Amendment. But what's the policy? That could be an issue. I don't know. Is the officer wrong? Maybe. Is the filmer wrong? Almost certainly.
To throw you a lifeline.
I went through your lifeline, all right.
Jesuits versus state.
Go ahead.
Case law.
Okay.
Now that I've said that to you, Jesuits.
So I need your name.
I'm going to throw you a lifeline.
I've definitely seen this video. I remember looking that up.
I went through your lifeline, all right.
Jesuits versus state.
Jesuits versus state. I've definitely looked this up. Jesuits. Okay. Gestewitz. Let me give that to you. Jesuits versus state. That's what it looks like. Finding that in the absence of reasonable suspicion, officers lacked authority to detain an individual to issue a trespass warning. Here's the problem with that. They have reasonable suspicion. They reasonably suspect that he trespassed or will trespass. Problem solved. That case is probably not as if read the case. I can't say that this does or does not say that, but the summary, finding that in the absence of reasonable suspicion, officers lacked authority to detain an individual to issue a trespass warning. I kind of feel like they have reasonable suspicion here. So it's almost an applicable thing. He definitely entered the property. His behavior kind of indicates that he might do it again. Shocking. It's not as strong as I'd like it to be, though, this case against him. Interesting. I definitely seen this video, because I definitely remember seeing this. Let's see. Let's read the case. Charges convicted of possession of a controlled substance. Attended Sharky's bar. Blah, blah, blah. Before the police arrived. Moved to the bar. Saved the door. Moved away to the door. Issued a trespass warning so you could not re-enter the bar. Let's see. Weapon on order to remove his hands from his pocket at the time, clear past bag, placing it in his hand. So did they have the ability to detain him to issue that trespass warning? Oh. This is interesting. A detention for the purpose of issuing a trespass warning on behalf of a private owner, absent other circumstances giving rise to reasonable suspicion of other criminal activity, is considered or is a consensual encounter. Okay. So this isn't a bad case, honestly. But could you articulate this guy intended to re-enter the school grounds based on his prior activity? You might be able to. So is that reasonable suspicion of a crime? It very well could be. Very well could be. So is this detention lawful? It could be. Oh, this just got interesting. I made it viewable. Look at that. Well, I made it kind of viewable. More or less viewable. Skip. A detention for the person issuing a trespass warning on behalf of a private owner, absent, this is where they're missing, absent other circumstances giving rise to a reasonable suspicion of other criminal activity is a consensual encounter. Sorry, I'm speaking too fast. My brain, my math work at different speeds. Don't worry about it. So, could you articulate this man intends to enter the school grounds again, based on the fact that he's already done it multiple times? I feel like yes. If he has a history of doing this sort of thing, then definitely yes. So, now the camera alone, I mean, you could reasonably suspect that he's filming for some sort of gratification, perhaps. Filming kids. There's a lot you could say, I suspect of this. But it's just reasonable suspicion. I encourage you to read this entire case and call me out if I'm wrong, because I have not read this entire case just now. I've read it before. I know I've read it before. But I've only given you some of the summary, and that might not be good enough, honestly. It might not be good enough. So, that, if I was making this a video of this, I would definitely go through the entire thing for sure. Oh. In the instant case, the law enforcement officer could have chosen to give Jestowitz a verbal trespass warning, allowed him to leave when his friends arrived. Jestowitz voluntarily decided to stay at the scene, which our boy here is apparently voluntarily staying. In order to receive a written trespass warning, that would have also been sufficient. However, the officers had no statutory or other lawful authority permitting them to detain Jestowitz for the purpose of issuing him a trespass warning. Now, we've already established that the officer has not actually detained him yet, so that doesn't count. But could he be forced to identify himself for trespass? That is the question still. We're going to look it up some more. Chad and Steph, thanks so much, says, this makes me laugh so hard. Auditors cry when it's policy to ID when asked, but will berate police as policy enforcement when attempting to remove them for recording when not authorized. That's very true. Like, but policy, but your policy, but not my policy. Like, you got to pick a side. Let's see. Trespass warnings, convictions for trespass for the benefit of due process trial, says edwardringwall.com. I'm reading off this. Give me a second. Legal exile. I don't even know what this article is. All right, Florida criminal trespass laws from findlaw.com. Most people know that you should not enter or remain on someone else's property without permission. Trespass. Different types of trespass, doesn't matter. Proof of intent is required. That's not hard to prove. He intended to go in there. We saw it happen. Let's see. Well, that's useless. It's all right. Oh, it's not for a specific state. Florida. I still think you would have to identify him for a trespass warning here. And it might be a county issue instead of a state issue. This is a conundrum. I think I'm right, but I'm not sure I'm right. And I don't like not being sure that I'm right. London police have a trespass warning policy, specifically outlining and citing that issuing a trespass is a consensual encounter. Fair. Okay, let's check that out. Now, I don't know if this is Orlando, but let's take a look. Valid trespass warnings must be provided by the property owner, lessee, which we saw happen, or other authorized agent of that property owner. Warnings come in many forms. Doesn't really matter that much for that. Let me scooch this on over. Hold on. Scoop, so you can see what I'm seeing. Unenclosed curtilage. Yeah, that's the thing. Warning may be in writing or may be verbal. Verbal warning by the property owner, his or her agents is sufficient. Copy. Good. Got it. Inability to issue a written trespass warning to the subject is not prohibited as subsequent arrest for trespass. Got it. Love it. Let's see. Must be proved to indicate the subject was aware of that verbal warning. I'll be stuck around. Interesting. When an officer issues a trespass warning, the officer should inquire the property owner. Sorry, length. Trespass warning must contain case number, subject's name, subject's address, subject's race and sex, subject's driver's license. Oh, Any officer who issues a trespass warning pursuant to the provisions of this policy and procedures, or who witnesses a proper verbal trespass warning issued by a proper whatever, shall complete a trespass warning form. An officer issues a trespass warning should inquire all this information. So it must contain the following, which would indicate that the person being trespassed has to provide it. But if they can't be detained to provide it, well, this guy wasn't detained. But he still has to provide it. That's certainly interesting. Issuance of trespass warning forms. All right, here we go. Consensual encounters, which this would be. During consensual encounter, an officer cannot compel a subject to identify him or herself or require that the subject produce identification. Even if only to allow the officer to complete a trespass warning. Oh my goodness. There we go. Oh, this is Orlando. But if we take this and apply it to wherever this was in Florida, that's interesting. So we absolutely have to establish some sort of reasonable suspicion in this case. Well, now can we reasonably suspect that this person is going to enter that property again? That is important. And I've skipped a bunch of the video, and he might be able to establish some of that. If not, the officer might be wrong. I stand by this Sasa gave Rogue Nation because he is still an idiot. Let's see what happens.
Go ahead.
Case law.
Okay.
Now that I've said that to you, I'm coming after your qualified immunity.
When you come back to school property and you go to jail for trespassing, then by all means you throw out those court.
Well, I just did.
Okay, but right
now. Am I detained?
Right now, I need your name and all that because you are.
Am I being detained?
See, now that question is actually really, really important. Auditor's correct to ask that question. That is important because if he's not detained, I don't think he has to give it. Oh, this flipped real quick. This is why research is important, folks.
You are being trespassed from the school
Okay.
property.
Did I leave?
You did not.
Did I leave when he told me I was trespassed?
No, you did
You're
not.
a liar.
No, you did not. You're thinking anything wrong.
Yes, you are.
You already were there in front of me. I witnessed you on school.
Okay, so
Next time you show up at this school on school property, I'm gonna take you to jail for trespassing.
You do that when I show up.
You already were there in front of me. I witnessed you on school property.
And did I leave when I was told I was trespassed?
So he's establishing it was school property. That sidewalk is on school property. I think if an arrest is made, the officer will have qualified immunity because technically the law, that's correct. And a court might establish that that is an easement through that property that is open to the public. And therefore, the guy is allowed to be there. But then you have the counter of, well, what's the easement for? Is it for him to just loiter, or is it for him to move, or like just go point A to point B, which he was not doing? This could get kind of complicated in court. I think the officer would not be in trouble necessarily, because if it is technically school property, and it very well might be, yes, that could be considered a trespass. And the only purpose for this guy to remain on that property would be to use that easement to cross through that property, not to remain on the property. That could get legally complicated. That's going to get into a lot of case law. It's going to be very, very important. I know I'm past my 2 hours, but God, that's super important. That right there is where this gets super complicated. Oh, man. Okay.
To a public side in this state. Good.
So is it public property or not?
Trespassing.
The traffic flow.
We're going to skip forward. Nothing's happened so far. Oh, this is really interesting. This right here, this is it. This is a sidewalk. This is a crosswalk for that at the very worst for the officer for things could be considered an easement through school property. Let's assume that that crosswalk is on school property. There's still an easement through it. As long as you're continuously moving through it, should not be a problem. Here's the thing. I think we got something here. Stopping in it, that's not good for him. And he enters school property. He passes the line for that stop sign. He is now on school property. He has exited that easement. That is trespassing. Yes! Yes, that is trespassing. We got him. Oh, all that confusion. I was so sassy. I'm like, did I waste all that sass? He just trespassed. This is trespassing. This is trespassing, ladies and gentlemen. We got him. Easily trespassing. No question about it. Boom.
Why are you?
And there's your arrest right there.
Go ahead and put your hands behind your back.
Yes!
For what? Go ahead.
Oh,
What am I
that's
under arrest
trespassing
for?
for sure.
now.
All right, so does he have to give name and badge number? Or no, sorry, not name and badge number. Name, address, social, date of birth, whatever he needs to identify himself. Not for that initial incident. And the officer did back down. Good for him. He can still ask for that information. He cannot require him to provide it in that situation. It would appear because it's not an actual detention. Could you make it a detention? Maybe. Would it be flimsy? Probably. But he didn't. The officer's like, look, you're not detained. Good call. My bad. My bad. I was saying he should do it. I was wrong. I was wrong there. The officer did not go through with it. Good. No issues. The filmer then went back. Definitely trespassed. We saw him on school property. This was outside of the easement. He went onto the school property to get a license plate. Trespassing. He had got that warning. It's all on film. No question about it. That's trespassing. Criminal trespass. That's an arrest. Rogue! Rogue, you uploaded this video. Oh, you didn't upload this video. You mirrored this video. Guess what, bud? He wasn't on public property. He was arrested while he was on public property, but the trespass was committed on school property. It's not public. Holy sweet baby Jesus. You're wrong, Rogue. What a shock. What a shock. Nobody could have seen that. I'm kidding. Everyone could have seen that coming. You were consistently wrong. Celebrations all around. We did it, folks. We got him. Woo! Oh, it's so
I
good.
asked you not to videotape my kids.
All right.
And he's arrested
You have ID on
for
you?
trespassing onto school property. Is anyone confused by this before I get out of here? Because I didn't want to push this too long. Anyway, because I got nervous a little bit. Like, oh my God, I might have given some people some bad initially bad info in the beginning of the stream. We're going to address it. And look at us. We went over some stuff. We learned a bunch of stuff about trespassing in Florida. Now, a bunch of the stuff was from Orlando, but presumably that was an analysis of Florida law in general and should probably apply to this location as well. But it doesn't matter in the end because he did re-enter that property. Oh, it feels so good. It feels so good, ladies and gentlemen. That was a random video. That was just random. I didn't go through. I didn't remember I'd seen that one till halfway through. I didn't remember how it ended. So, Aaron Reese says school property is publicly owned property, but not publicly accessible property. They don't understand the difference. Boom! There's a case. It's Greensburg Civic Association versus USPS or something like that. Hold on. Let me find it. It's a good case to read. The USPS versus Greensburg. Greensburg Civic Associations, it's a 1981 case, so it's USPS versus Council of Greensburg Civic Associations. 44-5, let me redo this. USPS versus Council of Greensburg Civic Associations, 453 US 114. Case was in 1981. Basically, in that case, the Supreme Court said just because property is owned by the public, in the sense that it is public property, meaning it's government property, does not mean it's accessible to the public. In this case, that would apply here. This was not accessible to the public. And Rogue, or not Rogue, whoever Rogue was promoting here, trespassed, got a trespass notice, and then trespassed again. So, yeah, also that's a fake delete loss, by the way. So, we got it. I hope that answered the questions. If you have more questions, ask them in the comment section, please. Whatever you want in the comment sections. If you got ideas, if you got thoughts, if you got whatever, drop them down below. Like this video if you like it. Subscribe if you want more nonsense. And of course, we got whatever this nonsense is. I won't tell you what it is yet, but I'll give you another screenshot of it just to keep you wondering. Stand by. I'm going to find a good one. Boop. No, I can't give you information though yet. Oh, it's so good. Yeah. If you want to see what that is, you want an alert when it goes out, subscribe, bell notification. If you don't like the video, you can always dislike it, of course. In the video description, I have a link to a P.O. box if you want to send some mail saying hello. There's also an Etsy. I have some new t-shirts up there if you want to go check them out. There's some that I'm probably going to buy for myself because I kind of love them. I'm very happy with them. Definitely going to buy the YouTube School of Law one. I think I will have that up as a sweatshirt or a hoodie. I'm going to make that a t-shirt as well. I'm definitely going to buy myself one of those because I'm not to toot my own horn, but I kind of love it. But yeah, Patreon, if you want access to scripts early, and there are a couple of things you might get out of that. Boom. Patreon's got some good stuff there. There's some Green River Killer stuff that it's getting warm again, so I'm going to be able to film some stuff. I'm going to do that. It's going to be great. Don't worry about it. That's been delayed for like 2 years now. But it's fine. The YouTube members, they get access to videos generally early. So when I make a video, I have Mondays, Wednesdays, I release videos, and then Fridays I usually do a stream, and Thursdays sometimes I do a ham hock stream where I'm in my hammock. But I generally upload the Monday and Wednesday videos early. Everyone's going to get to see them. But if you want to see them before they actually go out, membership will get you there. Also, there are some minor videos I will do. For example, when I made that little button with the key, the box, which we haven't pulled out again yet because we haven't had a reason. There it is. This guy right here. Some of you might have seen that stream. That was during the donation stream to Ironton where that made its premiere. It hasn't been seen since. Viewers got to see some of that early. So, there we go. If you want to support the channel, and for those of you who donated, oh my God, thank you so much. You keep this running. This costs money. It does. And the more time I devote to it, of course, the less time I can actually devote to work. So I really appreciate it. I'd still be doing this without any support. I love doing this, but you definitely make it easier. And for those of you who just joined in to say hi and view this and interact, you guys are amazing as well. Thank you so much. I don't want your money. I don't need your money. I appreciate it. I do these streams to interact with you guys because I love doing it. So thank you all so much. And I'm going to get out of here before I take up too much time. I think Tones Over thinks it might have a video premiering right around now. So I don't want to eat too much into that time. But, ladies and gentlemen, I'll see you again soon. Simulation Gaming, thanks so much, says, do you still have the Jeremy body pillow? I could put it back up. I could put it back up if we want it. Let me know in the comment section if you want it. That Jeremy DeWitt. Not Jeremy DeWitt. The Hetero State body pillow, excuse me. Some people, for some reason, think it's Jeremy DeWitt. I don't know why. The Hetero State body pillow. And yeah, let me know in the comments if you want that to go back up onto the Etsy, because I could make that happen. Anyway, but with that out of the way, ladies and gentlemen, until the next time, be good and stay safe.